California, you guaranteed at least 300 days of perfect weather every year. And at around midday, when temperatures reach a scorching 43 degrees Celsius, the ground gets hot enough to cook your lunch on. But apart from its uses as an outdoor cooker, the 14 hours of sunshine it gets every day means that the dry lake bed here at NASA's Wright Flight Research Center is the ideal place to soak up a little solar energy. It's also the flattest place on Earth. So, if you're looking for a natural runway to test your prototype £1.5 million solar-powered airplane, then you've found it. The man behind the revolutionary Pathfinder plane is Dr. Paul McCready. For over 20 years, his company has been searching for ways of getting more power out of less energy. He started by designing human-powered planes, including the Gossamer Albatross, which crossed the English Channel, and then turned his attention to solar-powered planes and cars. His latest and most ambitious project is the Pathfinder, an unmanned plane which could fly around monitoring the Earth for months at a time.
Pathfinder is practical for investigating the stratosphere and also for being a sort of station from which you can look down on Earth and radio signals back and forth. So it's kind of like a poor man's satellite, but it's 2,000 times closer, and that means you only need 1/4 millionth as much power to get the same intensity of electric signal down on the ground.
The reason Pathfinder can fly at such high altitude lies in the thousands of individual solar cells which cover the entire 30-meter wingspan. When sunlight hits the surface of each solar cell, electrons within the cell's double silicon layers start to move about. This movement is then directed along metal strips to generate an electrical current of 6,000 watts, which is about the same as 3 hairdryers. With such a low power supply, the weight of the plane is crucial.
The largest structural element of the airplane is the spar, which is, that's airplane term, it's kind of it's a backbone for the whole airplane. And that's up in the middle of the wing. It's the black tube in the center here. It's made out of graphite. The shape of the wing itself is determined by these ribs that are made out of styrofoam. They're very lightweight, and the thin film is actually called mylar, which is very similar to cling film. It tends to be very flexible. When it goes through turbulence, it actually changes shape.
Pathfinder's electronic navigation systems are built into its 2 landing pods, and they receive information and control signals sent from the pilot on the ground.
This is where we fly the airplane. About 5 people sit in here, and that's what it takes to fly it.
Does it take more people to fly an unmanned plane than a manned one?
Yeah, it does, because there's so much to monitor. Over here is the flight engineer. He looks at a monitor that has all the temperatures of the various pieces of electronics, how well the motors are working. So he's looking at the health of the airplane as a system. And next to him is this navigation monitor, and that has the moving map that shows that both the engineer and the pilot where the airplane is.
Right.
And then in front of the pilot, where you're sitting, is the pilot's display, which shows things like airspeed and altitude of the airplane, things that the pilot needs to know right away to fly the airplane. Next to the pilot's monitor is another monitor that tells which direction the tracking antenna is pointing. It's continuously tracking the airplane to maintain a radio link. And that's next to the communication person who's responsible for making sure the antenna keeps working properly.
Having successfully completed its high-altitude tests this summer, the next challenge facing the Pathfinder team is to install a fuel cell system, which will store some of the sun's energy during the day to keep the plane flying at night. And once this is achieved, Paul McCready's vision of an eternal airplane will have become a reality.